get started. Go ahead whenever
Awesome. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our December meeting. This will be our final meeting for SYLC of 2020. While I'm taking roll, please go ahead and take a look at the agenda, make sure there's no changes, anything you want to add. So is Joe here?
Yes, I am.
All right. Riley.
Here.
Kendrick.
Here.
Amanda.
Here.
Colin Duncan.
Here.
Bella.
Here.
Michael Finnegan.
Here.
Colin and Nick.
I'm here.
All right. Levi.
Here.
Jasmine.
Here.
Benjamin. Matthew.
Here.
Michael.
Here.
Ella.
Here, sorry.
Catherine.
Here.
Tej.
Here.
Tyler.
Here.
Jared. Rithi.
Here.
Jack.
Here.
Connor. Rohan.
Here.
Sinjin. Kevin's here, and Mark, are you here?
I am here.
Awesome. Alrighty, does anybody have any changes or additions to the agenda that they would like to bring up? Awesome. All right, with that, we're going to move into public comment, although it doesn't look like we have anyone here from the public tonight. So I think we can go ahead and move right into our first discussion item. And so this is going to be a report from the subcommittee that was working on a project related to awareness about smoking and vaping. So I'm not entirely sure who is in charge of that subcommittee, but whoever that is, would you like to go ahead and share out?
Jordan, we don't have an actual lead on that. So anybody from the team, if you want to share a short report, and anybody else that wants to fill in the gaps, please go ahead.
I'll go then. So, the subcommittee on the vaping project was able to come up with an idea to create a set of social media posts, and each post would address a different part of vaping. Like, one post would be about healthy activities to do instead of vaping, some facts behind vaping, getting a personal story, and I believe the last one is resources. So we've been able to divide that work among the subcommittee, and yeah.
Yeah, so Ella and I, we basically found some accounts that would be possible to like post on, and two of them are like there's a Fairview Instagram account and there's like a Monarch one, both of which, well, we're still waiting on the Fairview reply, but the Monarch people said yeah, and we were going to ask like the entire group if anyone goes to a different school, like Centaurus or something, if they have like an Instagram account that we could reach out to that a lot of people at the school follow.
Yeah, or really just any big accounts in the community.
I think it would be great if we could get it on the Town of Superior Instagram in addition to, I assume we'll also be posting it on our SYLC Instagram. I think if we could get it on the Town of Superior Instagram, that would be great.
Yeah, Kevin said that they could just repost it from ours.
Awesome. And I believe we do have people on the council that go to Peak to Peak and Centaurus. So if you go to either of those two schools, please speak up.
I can look into Centaurus.
Yeah, I can look into Peak to Peak.
Awesome.
Could you guys just send us like the handle when you find it, or an email address?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say on my end, I'm just collecting a list of healthy activities that SYLC does in their free time as a way to de-stress or just have fun. And I believe I sent an email out to everybody who's attending tonight. So when you get the chance, please reply to that. So far, I've got spending time with family and friends, getting involved in music or art, going outside, watching entertainment, and reading. So, thank you.
Awesome. Does subcommittee have anything else to report to the council? Or anybody have any ideas to for healthy things to do instead of vaping that we can record now?
Could you all tell us a little bit about the timeline too of when you are hoping to get all this done?
I think we're planning to have another meeting this month, but we were waiting to schedule it till after this meeting, and hoping to have the posters probably by January.
Thank you.
All right, with that, I think we're going to move on to our second discussion item, which is a food drive in partnership with Girl Scouts. So I have been in contact with one of the leaders of a Girl Scout troop in Superior. For the past couple of years, they've done a food drive where all of the food gets donated to Sister Carmen at the end. And this year, obviously, they had to change it up. And their current plan is to have some sort of central drop-off location with boxes like at Town Hall, for example. And then we would be, we can help transport all of the food to Sister Carmen once it's over. And so she was wondering if there are any weekends that the council had in mind for weekends that would work for where we can get enough people to be able to help out.
Like what month or like just season is this planned for?
I think our original plan was to have it towards the beginning of December. Given that it is the beginning of December, I don't think that's going to happen, but I think if we could do it before Christmas, I think that would be awesome.
Okay.
So maybe the weekend of the 19th and 20th, right after we're all done with school, could work. Do you guys like that idea?
Yeah, because then people are receiving food for the holidays.
Yeah, I think those times would work for Matthew and I, and they would also be very timely.
Yeah, me too.
Awesome. So since it seems like that works for at least some of us, let's get a list of people that think they are available. I'm not exactly sure what the timing is going to look like when exactly will be needed. But if you think you could be available, please just say your name and we can record it so we have a list.
Okay, Riley.
All right.
Joe.
Amanda.
Michael.
Gag.
Catherine.
All right. Anyone else?
I have a question. What exactly
Yes.
are we like gonna do? Just transport it?
Yeah, so I think the plan is there will probably be, we'll probably need a couple of us to do some setup. So just like setting up boxes and stuff. We'll also probably need, so we'll need a couple of people to set up, and then we'll probably need a couple people to transport the food as well. Lynn said they've generally been able to fill up like 2 to 3 cars with it. So we might need couple people to help out with that. But I think that should be all of our involvement. But I will stay in contact
So
with Lynn.
it's just one day.
I would imagine there'd probably be one day for setup, and then like a couple days later would be
Oh, okay.
the collection and delivery.
And I'm good to drive if needed.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, just
Same.
Cool. Yeah, I know Lynn was thinking about getting a U-Haul van potentially. And so in that case, I think we would just need to be able to just help load it in and then maybe unpack at Sister Carmen. So we'll see. Okay, cool. I will.
My audio cut out. So what day is it?
We are currently planning it for to be sometime around the weekend of December 19th and 20th, right after we finish school for the semester.
Okay, I can do that.
Cool. Awesome. I will keep everyone up to date on what is happening with that, and we'll get a more definitive plan and list of people that are going to be helping out in the next couple of days and maybe weeks. Anyone have anything else to say about the food drive?
Oh, I didn't know if I said my name, but I'm going as well.
Okay, cool.
So is the idea that we're gonna communicate, I guess, information back and forth with the Girl Scouts via email and figure out logistics?
Yeah,
for
yeah.
that?
I'll CC everybody that I have written down in an email chain with the Girl Scouts leaders, and we'll go from there.
Okay.
And I'll probably also send just like a couple updates to just the general SYLC group me, just to make sure everyone's in the loop about what's going on. All right, so our next item on our agenda is a brainstorming and planning session for a virtual youth event. So for those of you that don't know, in the past we have held Parents' Night Out events at either a school or the sports stable, and those have been, I would argue, some of our more successful events. And so we were thinking that it would be nice to have some sort of event like that virtually. And so I know when we were brainstorming our work plan, one idea that came up was a scavenger hunt. And so we wanted to get your guys' input on what you think of that, how, like, all of the logistics for how an online event like that would work, and that sort of thing.
I think a scavenger hunt would be actually a fun idea. I know we've done that in FBLA meetings, and it gets a lot of participation, and everyone enjoys it.
Jack, could you walk us through how that kind of works?
Yeah, so I think what we're planning on doing too, what we do in FBLA is just the leader of the event will say, go find a spatula and then bring it back to your camera, and first person who brings it back, I don't know, gets a point or gets a prize or something, just like some sort of reward. And then just do that with a bunch of like household objects. Maybe it's like a hammer or just, I don't know, get people running around their house.
Yeah, I mean, another idea, I did this thing that called it like a digital escape room. It would take more like intensive work, but like just having links buried on a website, or like having almost a puzzle to try and get through, I don't know, from like a Google Doc to a different place. Maybe the text is white at the bottom of the page, and if you highlight the page, then you can find it, and that's a link to the next place, and something like that. And then like first person to finish, first 10 people to finish or whatever, yeah, get a prize. I don't know.
Yeah, I like all of those ideas. One thing I think we need to consider is, I guess, if we're targeting like the younger youth or more teenagers. Sounds like if we're doing like a scavenger hunt or an escape room like Riley suggested, it would probably be more targeted towards middle and high schoolers. Do you guys think we should be also trying to hold some sort of event for younger elementary age kids too?
I think there's a whole event for younger kids as well, because I feel like the large demographic of the Parents' Night Out people are like kindergarten to fifth grade.
Yeah,
oh, go ahead, Riley.
yeah, I agree with Jack. So I guess, yeah, like the thing I brought up might not be as plausible for young kids, but yeah, I think, Jack, what you're mentioning, I've also seen that in like some theater camps, just that, yeah, type of fun, quick thing, gets people a little bit up and moving, and just talking with each other, I guess, yeah.
So besides a scavenger hunt, does anyone have any other ideas for events that would be targeted more towards elementary school kids as well?
I feel like you could do like a Kahoot or something, like a big Kahoot, and then have like the winner get some prize or something like that.
I feel like that would get a little chaotic in some ways.
How so?
I don't know. I just feel like everyone would just kind of, I don't know. Just, I feel like people would take it like not really seriously. Like it's not really supposed to be taken seriously, but I feel like people would somehow like make it chaos. If that makes sense. I think it's actually a good idea, but yeah, I think it's a good idea.
I just want to add on to that. Like, I know Monarch High School's done some, or I think like student council's done like a Kahoot or two, where they did kind of like a Google Meet stream kind of thing, and then people just participated in the Kahoot from there. But because it's a school, they didn't have people actually like in a Google Meet kind of format. But yeah, I think it would be a good idea.
Anyone have any other ideas to throw out? Even if you're not sure exactly how it works, it's better to just throw out an idea so that we can discuss it, see if it's possible, that sort of thing. I definitely do like the idea of having a Kahoot, though.
Yeah, well, for scavenger hunts, there's an app that some teachers and clubs use called Goose Chase that like assigns point values to tasks and then is supposed to be like a race for the most amount of points. So if we want to go do a scavenger hunt, that's one option.
Yeah, that's a really good point, Kendrick. Definitely have used that in like Spanish, and it's pretty easy. It just takes an app download, you're right.
Yeah, I guess one thing to consider is what exact age range we're going for. Because if they're too young, then we could create even more issues that the parents have to like help their kids with, like downloading an app or finding a website or something. But I think if we're going for like upper elementary school to like fifth grade, fourth grade kids, we shouldn't have issues with that.
Yeah, I think if we're targeting like K through 3 or K through 4, we'd probably want to limit needing to go to websites or using apps. So I think in that case, that would probably just end up being like people on the council leading some sort of scavenger hunt. I think if we're targeting like, fourth grade through eighth grade, we can probably have some sort of website, like a Kahoot that they would need to go to. So what age range do you guys think we should hold this event? Or should we maybe have like 2 separate events on back-to-back days or something to try and include as many people as possible?
I think that we should do 2 different events, because if we're gonna do a Kahoot or any sort of Jeopardy like that, like when intellect comes into play, it's gonna be really hard to have a group with like an 8th grader and a 1st grader. It's be like really unfair.
Yeah, or else, I mean, if we ran, it might get a little complicated, but if there's enough of us on any one day where we could be running different groups for the different ages at the same time, just to make it more efficient. So like maybe some siblings could be on, if one's older, one's younger, they could work together or be in different rooms. I really don't know, but
I think that's a good idea, though. I think it's probably easier for the council at least to just find a date and time that works for everybody. And then we basically could just have like 2 separate Zoom meetings or something, and just have people go to the respective one based on their grade.
Yeah, I think that's a really good idea. And as well, it wouldn't take as many of us to like run it as Parents Night Out, because if it's just a virtual event, one person can deal with it like 30 people.
So Kevin, I don't have a copy of the work plan. So when did we plan on having this event? Was it in Q1 or Q2?
We had it down for Q1.
Okay.
January, February, March.
Awesome. So I think we should start having a couple dates in mind for when we could host it. Do you guys think it'd be better if we had it on a weekday or a weekend?
Weekend for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, I know we've traditionally done our parents' night outs on Friday nights. So maybe having it on a Friday night, since Saturday's the day after that. So you guys don't have to worry about school. I think that could also work. Thoughts on that?
I think that's a good idea.
Would the online event be this month?
No, it would be sometime in January through March. I would imagine that we would like a little more time than if we were to hold it in January. So I'm kind of leaning towards holding it sometime in February, but I don't think we need to nail down a date right at this moment. We can talk about that at our next meeting or in a subcommittee meeting.
I agree because we're trying to work out a food drive with the Girl Scouts and then pushing through the vaping project. So having it in February, maybe like early February would be a good idea.
Okay, anybody have any problems with potentially targeting early to mid-February for a virtual youth event? All right, so with that, I think it would be a good idea to set up a subcommittee for this event. So does anyone want to lead the subcommittee? If not, I'm totally cool with leading the subcommittee for this event. All right, so can I get a list of people that would be interested in being on the subcommittee for planning this event? And so this would likely entail a meeting probably second half of December, maybe early January, just to flesh out some details for what the event's going to look like, and then we can present to the whole council at our regular meetings.
I could help with this event.
Okay, so that was Levi.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could also.
All
This
right.
is for the parents night out substitute thing, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
It's number C or letter C on our discussion items.
I can help too.
All right.
I can help.
Same. I could do it.
Anyone else? All right, anyone have any final thoughts on this event before we move on to our final discussion item? All right, so moving on to our final discussion item of the night. I know for, I think several years, SYLC has talked about having some sort of newsletter or some section in the Town of Superior newsletter. And I think this year we finally put it on our work plan to just kind of be ongoing throughout the year. So Kevin, I don't remember, did we set up a subcommittee for the newsletter last time, or do we still need to kind of work out the details for that?
We did. We do have some names, and obviously anybody can jump in. But right now I have Rithi, Catherine, Michael, Amanda, Kendrick, Riley, Tej, and Ella.
Okay, so has the newsletter subcommittee met at all and talked about your guys' thoughts on what we'd want in a SYLC newsletter to look like?
We haven't actually met. I think we were gonna just stay after this meeting to talk about it.
Okay, gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
I think this might be a good time for the council to weigh in as that subcommittee gets started on the kind of things that you would like to see in that newsletter. Just as from our previous discussions, we talked about COVID, service opportunities, mental health resources were some of the first items that were mentioned.
I don't know if we can do this, but maybe like youth views on like news that's going on.
Yeah, and I think definitely like once, I don't know if there's going to be that many opportunities now, but like if there's any like volunteering opportunities that are going on, we should put them in there because I know a lot of people are trying to get hours.
Yeah, I was gonna say posting like volunteer or job opportunities because I know a lot of places are advertising that.
I like Amanda's idea with the interviews.
We can definitely do something like I don't know, like different columns. Just, I don't know if it would be one person who's like maybe one of us who's willing to write just something maybe like depending on how frequently we want to push out this newsletter thing, like a month in review for the Town of Superior, or else, I don't know, a quarter in review if we're doing like once per quarter. And then just individual, if anyone in the community has something they want to write about, they're passionate about, that's I guess, pertinent to the youth, then we could give them the opportunity to have a platform to share.
Yeah, I definitely like the idea of being able to have people kind of like in the community contribute their own stuff. I think that's a good way to make it interactive and get more people involved in it. I also think it'd be, especially for the next couple of months, at least to have some column about COVID and just kind of what this current situation is. Just because I know, like, Monarch went from everyone going in person one day a week to being completely shut down. And so I think just having some sort of section where we can keep people updated on things as they change would be helpful.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'd be willing, like, if I have, people working with me, I'd be totally down to write such a column, something like that. Just kind of condensing down the numbers and getting like a need to know picture snapshot of the COVID situation. And yeah.
Just curious, but is there anybody on the council here who works on like a school yearbook or a newspaper for their school, or like a writer?
Not really, but I wrote for my internship this semester.
Okay, because I guess the thing is, if we're gonna have a newsletter, we're gonna want to have people who will actively write different things on it. So that's something we have to consider.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm totally willing to write certain pieces. I mean, there are definitely topics that I could be stronger in. And depending, I don't know how long, I think it would be valuable for us to figure out time frame, like how soon do we want to release the first one? What division, like how often do we want to try and release them? And then how long do we want it to be? Because I think that'll definitely set more clear guidelines on what will be required of the people who are working on it.
I think the first thing is that we need to decide whether or not this is going to be a section of the Superior newsletter or our own newsletter. I'm leaning towards doing our own newsletter because we have so many ideas that I think that would give us a little bit more leeway. But
That's a good idea, Kendrick. I think in the Superior newsletter, you're going to get, a little corner, a little chunk. What we can do in the Superior newsletter is advertise your newsletter and maybe put a link to that there.
And just to ask, but how often would we think of sending out like a newsletter? Every month? Every like how frequent would we be updating this?
I feel like we could do it every 2 months, but how often does the town do theirs?
It is monthly.
Yeah, I kind of agree with Ella. I think doing it every month is a bit of a stretch, especially because I know we're all super busy with school and everything else going on in our lives. But I think if we could get a version out every 2 months, I think that would be kind of a nice balance between doing it every month and doing it every quarter. And in terms of when we would have our first issue out, I think if we could get it out by like the end of January or early February, I think that would be ideal. I think it would be like awesome if we could get it out at the beginning of January as just kind of a start of 2021 thing, but I think that's a little bit out of reach for us at the moment.
Yeah, I guess definitely if we could get it out, like you're saying, Jordan, right at that start of 2021, kind of for a launch, that would, I think, get more of a draw from the community. But I agree that that would be tough because, I mean, we just need enough people on this council who are willing to meet at least a couple more times this month. I guess if there are people who would be down for that, now is the time so we can figure it out.
Any other takers besides those of you that are already on the subcommittee? Okay, so it sounds like the consensus is that we're going to be starting our own newsletter and having like a couple, like an advertisement in these Town of Superior newsletter, just so that more people are aware of it, with targeting mid to late January for our first launch and doing it every 2 months after that. Is that correct?
Yep.
I'd love to know your thoughts on length. Like, what would you all as a council actually read? Would be, is it 2 pages? Is it more? Is it just 1 page?
I feel like it definitely depends on the content, but I'd say at least 1.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe 1 to 2 pages.
Yeah, I think at most 2.
Yeah, I think 2 is probably the right amount. I think people should be able to read the whole thing in like 10 to 15 minutes, and be able to read like any individual article or column in just like 2 to 3, maybe 4 minutes, depending on what the content's about.
Yeah, I think that part will definitely be more on a case by case basis. Certain things, I think, from month to month, depending on what we have to say, it can be a variable length, but probably, yeah, 2 pages. Logistically, I don't know, Kevin, what our resources would be for like printing and distribution. And I guess, like, would we be sending this out only as a digital thing, like a digital newsletter? Would it be, sent to people's mailboxes, I guess, as like a printed copy?
Yeah, I mean, as far as the budget that you guys have, there is budget that you could think about printing and distributing paper copy. I mean, digital is obviously easy, and we have a lot of different ways we can get that out, especially even on, when you guys were talking about the vaping and the connections you have with schools and different places, being able to get it into those channels. So I think the easy way is digital. And then if you wanted to try to figure out a way to get some printed copies, I mean, we could definitely look into that.
I think we for sure need to have a digital version, just because so much stuff is online now. But I think if we had the option of a physical version, I think some people would appreciate that. But I would imagine that like probably 80 to 90% of people are just going to look at it on their phone, their computer.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, if there was like a physical copy, where would people even like get it?
Well, I'm not sure what kind of budget we have, but I would imagine if we're able to, we would want to deliver it to their mailbox if we're doing a physical copy.
What about the magazine that comes out? I don't know how often it comes out. That'd be a cool idea to put in there.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure that's monthly, but we could do like every 2 months or whenever we do it.
Kevin,
Yes.
is there a way that I could share my screen? I'm typing up a planning doc right now.
Let's see. I think so.
All right. Oh, okay. No, the Meet won't let me. So, but I will send this to the group definitely. I'm just kind of writing down what we're talking about.
Okay.
I think for now we should like focus on the digital component of the newsletter. And I also think we have a little bit more leeway with length if it's just digital. But that might just be me.
Yeah, I do think it would be probably best if we just started with a digital only version, just to kind of gauge its popularity. And then if enough people are signing up and we get a bunch of requests for a physical version, then we can start to consider it. But I think, yeah, it would probably be much easier, at least for our first couple issues, if it was just all digital.
I agree with that.
Riley, I think you can share now if you want to. Try again.
Did that work?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Another cool idea for like an idea for like a column would be, this might be too small of like a demographic, but what college is gonna look like next year for incoming freshmen? Because I know it's pretty weird right now for current freshmen.
Just relating to the COVID thing, I don't know, maybe putting some ideas on what to do, like over winter break or just the breaks in general, because with the pandemic and stuff, everyone's limited in where they can go and what they can do. So, yeah.
And we could also, I don't know what the vaping subcommittee is thinking, but we could also even include like more info about that in the newsletter, like as a piece within it, if the subcommittee would want to take that on.
Yeah, I think that's a really good idea.
Yeah, because maybe also in that section, we could add the personal stories there.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. This is coming from a youth council, so yeah.
I also think it would be cool if we had a, like going along with the current COVID situation, having just like a what's new in Superior column, just talking about all the things that have changed in Superior over the past couple of months.
And then maybe also like an interview section, like Amanda was talking about.
Okay, so how would we be planning to like find these interview pieces? I guess, are we planning on going out and I guess running those interviews ourselves?
Yeah, I would imagine. Oh, go ahead, Ella.
I mean, yeah, or we could create like a Google form that whoever wants to do an interview like fills it out and then we contact them that way.
Yeah, I also think it would be potentially good if we had just like kind of like when we're brainstorming what we want in the article, just or in new editions, just having a list of people that could be interesting to interview, and then just reaching out to them directly. Because I feel like the amount of people that would like fill out a form specifically saying I want to be interviewed is probably not going to be too many people.
I think we have a good amount of ideas for content.
Yeah, I think we need to like talk about who's gonna do what and like the time frame.
Okay, so how would we, want to organize and I guess distribute the work for this?
Okay, first, could you scroll up for a second just so that we could see? Also, so are we going to split it up like one person take one of the bullet thingies?
I think that's still, yeah, I think it's still up in the air, depending on what people want. Nothing on here is locked in stone. These are just rough brainstorming.
I feel like. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, okay. I was just gonna ask, like, if we're doing like a digital version, is this gonna be like on a website or some kind of Google Doc, or cause like we're gonna have to create something to put this newsletter in online, maybe like Google Sites or something.
A good option might be, everyone, there is a Superior Youth Leadership Council webpage on the superior.com, superiorcolorado.gov website. That may be a good spot to put it on. And we can actually have an archive there of all the newsletters. As one possibility.
Yeah, I think if we could do that, that would be awesome. I think it would be maybe a little more professional if we were able to get our own website. I'm not exactly sure how we would go about setting that up. But I think putting it on the town website would be a good start, and then maybe moving to our own website later, depending on its popularity or something.
Yeah, and then once it, go ahead.
Would we also be able to email it out, like the first few issues?
Yeah, I think we could have just like a Google form or something that people can fill out saying they want it, and then we can just email them, either email them the newsletter itself or email them a link.
Yeah, and I think we should put it like not the entire thing, but in the like actual monthly newsletters that come out, if we could put in something that's like, go and check this website for the newsletter, just so that like people actually know that it's a thing.
If we do the Google form to see if people want to be notified of the newsletter, I think like one good idea would be putting that Google form in the town's newsletter. But I don't know. That might be a bit of a like hassle.
We can definitely link it. And by the way, we do have our own URL, superiorylc.com goes to the page on the superiorcolorado.gov page. If there was a time to branch out from that, we could use that URL possibly. I know that the town is trying as a whole to keep everything kind of in one place in-house. You know, that we have Instagram and Facebook and stuff on our own is kind of a little bit of a treat luxury, because they try to keep it a little tighter than that.
All right, Riley, do we want to just, it sounds like we've got enough content. Do we want to start working on a list of people that are willing to work on it? Okay, cool. So I'm not the best writer in the world, but I can definitely help with like the logistics of distribution and that sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, Jordan, would you want to like co-head this with? I'd be willing to, yeah, work on. I'm not so great at the managerial stuff.
Okay, yeah.
But I'm definitely interested in writing some
Okay, yeah,
potential pieces for
I guess
it.
we can, yeah, I guess we can work together on that.
Riley, you've been doing a good job of leading and organizing tonight, so you're pretty good.
All right, thank you. So we will be on the managing project. All right. I think we could definitely use people who are willing to help with the writing, help with publicity, and
Design probably should be
yeah,
added
design.
in there.
So yeah, anyone who wants to take on any of these, you can do multiple. No pressure to do any, but yeah, just to get a rough idea.
I could do like a writing thing for the thing about activities.
I can help out with the design later on.
I don't really have a specific like thing I want to do, but you can put me down for writers.
Okay.
I think because
Yeah.
I just don't have a specific thing for that. But
Yeah, I think I can go under that category too.
Okay. And leaning right. Oh, go ahead.
You can. Okay, I was just gonna say I like Kendrick and Tej. I can do some writing and then maybe like some designing with Amanda.
Okay. And I guess for publicity, that's pretty far down the line. So unless anyone's like jumping at it, and it doesn't really seem like that.
I think publicity is basically just going to be, I think, like all of us.
Yeah.
Are probably going to play a part in that. So.
All right. Anyone else with any thoughts or wanting to take part in any of this?
You could put me down under miscellaneous.
All right. That was Ella, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I guess I'll wrap it up with just, moving forward. Do we want to try and have a subcommittee meeting on this in December? Just kind of to work out more of the details?
I think that would be a good idea, although I'm not sure how busy everyone is going to be over the next couple of weeks as we close out the semester. So I'm not sure if that's going to be logistically possible, but we can try and make it happen.
Yeah, if we're gonna do a meeting in December, then I would aim for the end of the month when we're out of school and over winter break or that kind of thing, because we have a very long break.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if we could do it like towards the beginning of the break, that would be better because if we like have to work on writing something, then we have the entire break to do that if we meet at the beginning.
Okay.
What are the dates of the break?
So our last day of school is December 18th. And then we are off until January 5th, I believe. So we get, yeah, two weeks off.
All right. Sounds good. I guess we can, make a group, just a group chat, figure out a specific date, and then shall we plan? Well, I guess, do we want to try and get it for the January 1st or early January drop, or shoot more for, like, say, start of February?
I think first week of January is a little ambitious. Maybe like third or fourth week of January would be a little more reasonable for us to hit. And then maybe just if we haven't figured out all of the logistics yet, maybe pushing it to like first week of February. But I think targeting mid to late January would be a good idea for now.
All right. So then plan to report back in at the next full group meeting in early January.
Yep, I definitely think we'll have enough to say and just get the rest of the council's feedback on where things are going.
Sounds good. What's that date?
That would be, yep, January 6th.
6th? Okay. I guess, does anyone have any other thoughts, comments,
Just
concerns?
a question. When does the town's newsletter usually come out? Like what time of the month?
The Superior Sentinel comes out like almost right at, the first or the second at the latest of the month. And then we have a Parks and Recreation newsletter that usually comes out usually about a week after that one, week to 10 days after that one. So between the 9th and the 12th of the month, we can utilize both of those.
Okay.
And don't forget all of our social media, and obviously that can happen at any time. Town social media.
Just to reconfirm, so is the idea that we're gonna have like a meeting or talk about this moreover in like during winter break this month?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, probably sometime around that like first week of break before like Christmas Eve and stuff.
Riley, and you're sending out the notices to get everybody together for that?
Yes. So I have Jordan, me, Rithi, Catherine, Amanda, Kendrick, Tej, and Ella. Anyone else who's like not sure what they want to do but want to be like kept in the loop and maybe partake as we develop it more?
I think since this is an ongoing thing, it's totally fine if people join after we've released our first couple of issues. So don't be afraid to join later.
Yeah. Cool. Sounds good. Yeah.
Riley, if you need any help with Zoom, setting something up with that, I'm glad to throw something together. We have an unlimited time plan on our town.
All right. Cool.
Awesome. Anyone have anything else to say before we end this meeting?
I have something real quick. So the town board meeting on December 14th, we're going to be going through the process of doing committee assignments. So SYLC is always at the top of the list in terms of the advisory committees that people want to be on. So I don't know if I'm going to have to fight tooth and nail to stay here or not, but there is a possibility that I'm no longer going to be the trustee liaison. So if it is my last meeting, I just wanted to say I really appreciated all the time getting to know all of you. And I look forward to seeing what you guys all do in the future.
Thank you. Hope you come
Thank
back.
you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We hope you can stay.
Me too.
Yeah, thank you, Mark. You've definitely been a very insightful voice for our council the past couple of years. So hopefully you can stay with us for the next couple of years as well.
I appreciate that.
All right. So with that, that concludes our December 2020 meeting. Our next meeting will be, as we mentioned earlier, on January 6th. Kevin, that's still going to be over Zoom, right?
That is correct.
Okay. Awesome. All right. If nobody has anything else to say, I believe that is the end of the meeting. Thank you, everybody, for coming.
Great, thank you. Have a good one.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See everybody or talk to
Everybody.
everybody next meeting.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.